Okay, I'm recording this on the go, so it might sound really weird and different from other episodes. I'm sorry, but that's just a heads up that this intro track will sound different. This episode was brought to you with the support from listeners like you. Special thanks to Superfan BFF level supporters Kyle H., the man with the hat, and Violet Passion. If you want to join Kyle and Violet, join the Pastie Tapes Fan Club. Visit thepastitapes.com and pledge your support now. Hi, thank you for listening to the Pastie Tapes. This is your host, Siomai, the steamiest Asian dumpling. All right, so we are at the end of September. I have had the most wild September. This month I was in Richmond, Virginia for Vanessa Chevelle's Afro Teas. I was in Nashville, Tennessee for the Nashville Burlesque Festival by Freya West and Chandeliers. And then I had my very first featured performer special guest spot thingy this month in a festival at Burlesque and Beyond in Philadelphia by Dottie Riot and Scott. Thank you so much for having me. What a dream come true. I haven't been home in weeks now, it feels like. I have no idea what my home looks like anymore. I don't even know where I am. This week I'm headed back to Nashville. I am surprising one of my Muggle best friends at her bachelorette party. She didn't think that I was going to make it because she knew I was having a whirlwind September. But, you know, what's one more flight? Also, I love her. Also, I'm pretty sure she doesn't listen to this podcast, so she hears this episode. I'm fucked. There goes my grand best friend gesture. But, you know, it happens. Okay, so this is a mini episode. This episode is publishing on September 25th, 2019. This is the 4-year anniversary of when I left my bad Muggle job in Nashville. I talked about it in my interview with Sophie Dumal, who you heard from a couple weeks ago. I was asking her a question, and then she brought this up, and then I rudely cut her off, and then just started talking about my own story. You're hearing a snippet of one of the parts that didn't make it to Sophie's episode. This is my conversation with Sophie Dumal about September 25th, 2014. You came from Pittsburgh from this really, really tight-knit family, burlesque family. You went back there to perform. A lot of your acts that you've built were for a Pittsburgh audience originally. What was it like getting established or finding yourself in Nashville? You came to Pittsburgh with your partner, Sean, and, great, excellent working partnership there. How did you manage to meet new people? What connections did you make when you moved to Nashville?
I think, I came down to Nashville. Sean and I both came down to work for a puppet and animatronics place, but 90% of our friends and our connections have been through the burlesque community here. Shortly after I came here, I started taking classes, and there were kind of student mixers or hangout nights where, it would be kind of a potluck, and then people could show off what they were learning in their classes. I think one of my earliest memories of you was at one of those, and you showed off a bit of butt, the butt class, the booty burn choreography.
Oh my God, you were in that?
Yeah, and
you were there?
Had super cute mermaid leggings on.
Okay, in my head, I was never ever going to perform after, ever. I wasn't going to perform. And I think that was the week I was moving out of Nashville back to Milwaukee to go on this 9-month pilgrimage to apply and get into a PhD program. I actually left my 9-to-5 corporate jobs going away party for me. It was my party. It was my going away party. I just left to get ready. I left the party halfway through. I think one of my best friends, who I'm going to be maid of honor in her wedding, she showed up to that party after I already left.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I'm glad that she forgave me or whatever. I mean, everyone got to drink for free, right? It was a corporate party, whatever. But yeah, I left to go do that. I was so nervous. And in my head, that was the birth and death of Siomai Moore. Like, that was going to be it.
That night, or you just, like, showed off what you learned in class to, like, the other students?
Yeah. That was it.
Oh, well, I'm glad you were wrong.
Me too, I guess. That I didn't know you were there. I think, like, I was so happy to be there and so sad.
Yeah, you had to leave.
At the same time. Well, what I saw was this, like, beautiful community. I have a video somewhere on, like, you know, my iPhone from 8,000 years ago. I have that video, and I play it I play it when I need, like, a pick-me-up, which sounds really dumb. But the ending is, like, me and Shan hugging. Yeah. And I think, like, the reason why I became so familiar with you from a distance is you were starting to show up to class, like, pretty fucking often. And then I, like, in an attempt to escape working until 9 p.m. at my 9 to 5 or getting sent on business trips when I already knew that, like, I was done working there, I started showing up to class, like, every single class I could. But yeah, I think, like, the thing that made me really sad, like, I was ready. Like, I was ready to leave Nashville when I left Nashville. And I was ready to apply to PhD programs and, like, give myself this life sabbatical, you know, at, like, 23 or whatever. Wow. What an asshole.
Yep.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Like, I was ready for that. And then I remember being, like, so sad after I saw how nice everyone was. I mean, everyone was always really nice in class and really, really lovely. But I think I was just so focused on, like, being there, being in the studio, doing this thing for an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours if I just stayed the whole night, so that I wouldn't be working. And I think it, like, took me that night, you know, ditching all of my Muggle Nashville corporate friends, being dressed up like a mermaid. I don't know why I was dressed up like a mermaid. Like, everyone else was, like, wearing normal as fuck clothes. I was dressed up. And
yeah, it was super cute.
Thanks. Yeah, that was, like, something that made me really sad to leave. And I think when I think back about my time in Nashville, I don't miss that job, obviously. Yeah. Like, you know, things have turned out fine for me. Like, the friends that I made in that corporate job are, like, still my friends. Like, that's not what I miss. I think, like, what I miss is, like, this opportunity to, let's, like, oh, I could have been a part of the Nashville community, like, that much longer if I stayed that much longer for Burlesque, which is, like, really goofy. But you had that, right? Like, I left and you started, you know, being more in the studio. You became one of the desk babes at the studio. Tell me about, like, all of these great friendships that formed after I left Nashville because no one wanted to be, you know, friends with me. Yeah. Until now.
We were all like, oh my God, thank Christ Siomai is gone now.
Right. What does Siomai even mean? I don't get it.
What is a Siomai?
What is a dumpling?
What is a dumpling?
Okay, thank you for sitting through that. How wild. Like, I'll post the pictures and the videos to the Pastie Tapes Instagram. My life is so different from 2014. My life is so different from, you know, a year ago when I made my real debut. Life is wild. Okay, thank you for listening to the Pastie Tapes. Thank you so much for supporting this project, supporting this podcast. If you want to support more, visit our website, thepastietapes.com, and sign up for the Pastie Tapes Fan Club. I will shout you out on air. You will get a lovely care package and or letter from me, and I will be eternally grateful for your support. Again, visit thepastietapes.com. I'm also collecting some BurlyCon, pre-BurlyCon advice or tales that you want to share. Send me an email, pitch something to me, thepastietapes@gmail.com, or leave a voicemail with whatever advice or fun stories you might have. You can call or text the Pastie Tapes hotline at 1-530-PASTIES. That's 1-530-727-8437, and I may play a response on air. We'll be back at some point. Maybe we'll be back next week or the week after. I have lots of great content coming up for you for the rest of the year. I have interviews with people like the incredible Viola Vainglory, Boo Bess, Icky Muffin, the Lady Josephine. So many cool things in the pipeline. Keep your ears open. Thank you so much again for listening to the Pastie Tapes.
You have been listening to the Pastie Tapes, a burlesque podcast by Siomai Moore, the steamiest Asian dumpling. This is Blanche Debris saying thanks for listening, and see you later, ducklings.